Hello everyone, my name is Patrick O'Grady, and today I think I've got a good lesson for you. We're going to be looking at the IELTS test and why the heck is it so hard? Oh, it's so difficult. And we're going to take a look at how we can make it a little bit easier. So, why is it so difficult? Well, let me tell you, the first problem that students tell me about is that there are a million things to look at on the internet. There's so much information out there, you don't know where to start. And I think we've put together a really strong program that'll show you where to start. Another problem that my students tell me about is that they don't know what their level is. And if you don't know what your level is, it's impossible to understand what the appropriate material you should be studying is. So we can help fix that problem as well. Another problem that my students talk about is that they don't understand how the test is run, meaning they don't know how long each part is. And so we're going to be covering that in our course in a lot of detail, making it super clear you understand what is on the test and what's expected of yourself. The fourth and final problem that my students have talked about is that they don't really understand how they will be marked on the test and what is expected of them exactly. What's the difference between a 5.0 and a 6.0? And so these are fundamental questions that will be answered throughout the course. So we're looking forward to showing it to you. So what I'm going to share with you today are 3 different things we can do now, today, to help you on your road to improving your IELTS. Let's go through that. The first thing, let me see, general level of English. We need to improve our general English. I'll talk about that soon. Our test skills, what is going to happen in the test. And thirdly, our knowledge of how the test is marked. So let's start with the first thing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the general English, your general English skills. You have to understand that when you're taking the IELTS, it's a test about your proficiency with English. And if you can't speak English, if you're really poor, you can't really cheat the system. Some of my students will come to me and they'll say, they'll think, maybe if I understand how the test works, maybe I can kind of cheat a little bit on here and do a little better. You can't do that. So if your English is kind of a low level, well, you're going to need to put some time in and study. So you may very well have to improve your general level of English. So the second thing we're going to look at today are your test skills. What skills you have at taking the IELTS test? Well, let's look through the test first and see what we've got. The first part of the test is usually listening. Then we have reading, writing, and speaking. All of those are weighted 25% each, so for a total of 100%. The listening and reading test have over 10 different types of questions each, and they require different strategies and skill sets to answer them. We'll be covering all of this in our course. As far as the writing goes, you need to be aware of whether you are an academic student or a general student, because you're going to be given a different writing task dependent on the two. If you're an academic student, you're probably on your way to university, so you'll know that. If you're studying the IELTS for immigration, you're probably a general student. So be aware of that and make sure you tell your teacher, or you might be studying the wrong thing. So in the speaking part of the test, it's broken into 3 parts. The first part, you'll be asked some general questions about yourself. It should be easy and comfortable, no problem. The part 2 of the test is broken into 2 parts, A and B, and you'll be given a a task card, a pencil and a paper, and 1 minute to write your ideas down, organize your thoughts, and after that minute has expired, you'll be given 2 minutes to give your answer. The third part of the test is more questions about the part 2. So the third thing we're going to look at today and how to help you improve your IELTS is understanding how the test is marked and what the examiner is looking for. Some Vietnamese think it's a good idea to simply translate from Vietnamese to English, and that's okay. I think that's okay when you're out and having a coffee with your friend, but the examiners are looking for very direct answers. English is a very direct language, and maybe Vietnamese has a bit of a loop-de-loop when trying to get from A to B, whereas English is very direct and forward. So understanding what the examiner is looking for is really important for your speaking and your writing. You want to have clear and concise ideas, well organized, and you're going to get a great score. And certainly our course is going to help you get there. Thank you very much for watching. See you next lesson, guys. Bye-bye.